Hey Dreamers, welcome to the Dreamers Podcast. We're streaming live here on Facebook Live on Monday. It's Labor Day. Happy Labor Day to all the Americans out there that celebrate. So it's been a little while since I've gotten to do a live pre-show, so I really wanted to take the time to make that happen. I'm by myself today here in the studio. You can see like there's boxes and more stuff behind me going on because we're leading up to the MapCon, Mid-Atlantic Podcast Conference, the podcasting conference that I host here in South Jersey. It's taken up a ton of my time, excuse me, as well as, going through and spending time with Ava as Melissa is getting back to work now. So it definitely has been really difficult for me to make all of that happen. Yeah. So like we're looking about 100 people attending Mid-Atlantic Podcast Conference here in South Jersey just this upcoming weekend. So Friday and Saturday, it's really cool. If you want to check it out, midatlanticpodcast.com. If you don't have a podcast, if you do have a podcast, you definitely want to try to make it down here if you can. It's outside the Philadelphia area. Tickets are still on sale until Wednesday. So my guest this week is PK. He has a nonprofit organization called excuse me, a cough is it keeps coming and going for me. He has a nonprofit organization called That Suits You, which sets up men who are getting back into the workforce, which is really great because there's a lot of times where just because you get into trouble doesn't necessarily mean that has to be the end of your life. And a lot of times they believe, and I believe that being able to get yourself set up with some great clothes to go to these job interviews and get some training to go to these job interviews really will help. So you definitely stay tuned till after the pre-show. Make the jump over to the interview with PK. You will not be disappointed. Anyway, it looks like our Facebook Live feed is not working right now, which is not cool. Pretty disappointing, but it's okay because you can watch this on YouTube later at a later time. It's superjoepardo.com/tube, TUBE. Yeah, this is episode 246. I don't know if I mentioned that earlier. I haven't written a whole lot down. I really, what I'm trying to accomplish as soon as this conference is over, once I get the video out of the way, because we have like a virtual ticket that we're selling, and I'm actually hosting a class here at my house here at where all the magic happens. The day after the conference, what I'm trying to accomplish excuse me, is to start doing pretty regular YouTube videos. I want to take Dreamers Podcast to the next level. I want to take it to YouTube. I want to do like mini episodes, so like 3 to 7 minutes where I talk about topics I used to talk about here on the pre-show. I know I've been talking about doing this. I know I was going to do it in July. And then I was like, I'm going to get it in August. August is now gone, and here we are in September, but just been super busy with mostly with the conference. It's just taken up way more time than I thought that I had. That's, something, and I'm going to definitely do a whole episode on this, one of these mini episodes, which I haven't come up with a name for yet. Mini-sode or Dream or something. I don't know. If you have a name for what a mini episode of the Dreamers Podcast should be named, like, shoot me an email, joe@superjoepardo.com. Anyway, I want to take it to the next level and do these mini episodes. One of the great things about being able to be on YouTube is the easy monetization. I won't have to think about it. but it does take time. It takes time to shoot these videos. Topics, I have tons of topics. I have like 250 topics written in a spreadsheet that I can start going through and recording like that. And then I can convert those also to podcast episodes. So what I'm looking to do is, one of the episodes I'm going to talk about that I've been learning a lot about in the last give it a month or so, isn't that about just time, right? Like we talk about time. Time is, the most valuable resource we have. It's the same thing. We all get the same 24 hours, blah, 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 blah. But what's different is the energy. So there's time and there's energy, and we have we have a finite amount of each of those, and it's really, really tough to deal with. Like, I have found with myself that it's really, really tough to gauge how much energy I'm going to have. Like, time, you can plan for time. Energy is tougher because, like, with now having Ava here, it's really been tough to gauge, like, okay, how much energy am I going to need to get to the next sleep, which isn't always possible. It's not always possible. So, like, I know that if she's waking up at 7 a.m. and she's going to bed at 10 or 7 p.m. or 8-ish, that's awesome. But where I can run into a lot of issue is what if she doesn't go to sleep, or what if she doesn't take any naps? And these are things I've had to deal with, especially now with Melissa heading back to work. It's been really difficult to get work done in a timely manner. So it's just really slowed me down. But it's been great because I've been able to spend all this awesome time with Ava in critical months of her development and growing and learning different things, and you can see the progress that she's making and all that. So, and if you follow me on Instagram or on Facebook, you can definitely see follow pictures of her growing up. It's been quite a ride so far. So that's just like one of the topics that I want to talk about in this new mini episode format that I want to do. Like, I used to have what was it called, Latter Day, which was on Wednesdays. I released every Wednesday I did a topic episode with a guest, and I enjoyed them. It just took a lot of time, and I ran into issues where I needed to have something recorded, and then eventually that evolved into what is now the pre-show, which I haven't been really, really great about getting out week after week after week, but at least we're getting interviews out, so we have episodes. And speaking of episodes, last month, Dreamers Podcast was downloaded 5 times more than it has not ever been, but in the last like 8 or 9 months. So it's been absolutely phenomenal. And even since end of August, beginning of September, we're already surpassed those numbers that we had the last 9 months. So like the last 9 months we've been really really dead, and I didn't realize because I didn't go and check that my feed was only showing the 10 newest episodes of the show, which is depressing because there's 246 episodes as of today. So what I'm super excited about is not only that more people are downloading the show, more people are finding out the show, more people are writing to me about the show, and I'm so happy to hear about all that. And I have some great interviews coming up from some of the people that reached out to me. And if you want to be a guest on the Dreamers Podcast, all you have to do is just send me an email, and we'll have a conversation, and we'll see where we go from there. I do have a pretty big backlog of episodes to get through that are already recorded, and I have a lot of people already scheduled, so we're pretty far out in the process. But that's one of the things that makes this whole thing great. Anyway, having all those extra downloads coming from Android. So it seems like since Google Play has opened up to podcasts, it really has opened up to a lot more shows or a lot more people being able to come check out the Dreams Podcast. So I want to say welcome to all those people that are just getting started, and feel free to go back to the first episode because now the feed works, unlike before where it did not work properly and you only saw the 10 newest episodes. So anyway, really excited about that. Really excited about MapCon coming up. Really excited about, I still I've been working diligently on my third book called Sales Won't Save Your Business. It's a book for people who already have businesses, whether or not you're already at that level where your business is needing to be saved, or it's preemptive so your business doesn't ever need to be saved. That's the important part. Sales Won't Save Your Business. It will be out. I don't know when it's going to be out. Hopefully in the not too distant future. I have some other projects that I'm working on with a few other people, including the potential for a dreamer shop, like a workshop, dream shop, if you will, with a really special guest who was on the show not that long ago. So we'll see where it goes. It's, there's a lot of things flying around at the moment, and really what I'm focused on is the conference. But I wanted to record this short pre-show by myself, because unfortunately Matt wasn't able to be here and Ava was sleeping in the other room. And even though Facebook didn't work, so there's no comments for me to comment on. And just get on and say hi, and looking forward to talking next week about the conference and the experience with the class that I had here at the after the conference. So, go to midatlanticpodcast.com, get yourself a ticket or a virtual ticket. Virtual ticket prices will be going up, so it's the cheapest you can get them. In fact, right now you can get a 25% off coupon if you put in MapCon25. In the promo code area for the virtual ticket. So there you go. Get 25% off the $64 price, and it'll be lower than it'll ever be going forward. It's just so much going on, so little time to talk about or even think about it. Hopefully I'll have more heading towards the mini episodes, which I suspect probably in the third to fourth week of September I should have. So we'll see what happens there. I'm gonna try my best to get on them. Maybe they'll even become a daily thing. If I have the process down pretty well to make these videos. I'd like to get my professional lighting in here instead of this light that's up top. So you see, it's like my hands it's all washed out down here, but it's quick and dirty, and that's just the way it is when you don't have a lot of time to do these types of things anymore, like you once, and time and energy like you once did before. So, all right, so stay tuned for PK's interview with me. He's the founder of That Suits You, really awesome nonprofit organization. And I will see everybody next week here on the Dreamers Podcast.
Joe, I have a challenge for you.
What's that, Matt?
I want you to give me a way to support the Dreamers Podcast that's not only easy, but it's not going to cost me any money.
Buy stuff on Amazon.
Really?
Yes. Go to superjoepardo.com/Amazon. Update your bookmark for Amazon to that link, superjoepardo.com/Amazon. Every time you make a purchase, I get money.
Joe, in the time it took you to describe that, I've already done it, and I'm a slow typer.
You know what? Why don't you go buy some Mavis typing tutor on Amazon using the superjoepardo.com/Amazon and help contribute to Dreamers Podcast.
It'll be here in 2 days, thanks to Amazon Prime.
Hey, Dreamers. Today I'm talking with PK Kersey, who is making his dreams come true by being persistent and not taking no for an answer, which is an absolute wonderful way to be. Welcome to the show, PK.
Hey, thanks for having me on. I'm very excited. We made this happen pretty quick. I met you, Sunday, and now we up on this today.
Yeah. Just 3 days later. I try to do a quick turnaround time as often as I can. I strike while the iron's still hot, even though the interviews don't always go out right away. Okay, cool. So, PK, why don't we get started by giving some background about yourself?
Okay. I've been married for 24 years. I have twin boys, 7-year-old boys. I've actually worked for the state for about the same amount of time, about 20 some odd years. And I actually just started with my business, That Suits You, and PK's Pitch within the last 4 years. So Those are fairly new, but I'm very excited about them. And since I've started making my dreams a reality, since I started, so much is happening. I'm just really pumped about it.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's the what suits you, or that suits you. It got my attention for sure when we met at the Kittypreneur Expo back back at this point it was back in June. So yeah, no, I love what you're doing. So why don't you talk a little bit about what That Suits You does?
Cool. Yeah. Well, That Suits You. It's a nonprofit organization based here in New York. And what we do, we collect new and gently worn professional attire, suits, ties, and we provide them to job-trained, qualified males who are trying to get back into the workforce, along with high school seniors for prom and graduation. We work with veteran organizations. We work with men coming home from prison, those type of organizations, and just guys who are just trying to get hired but lack the attire. So once they go through these programs, the programs contact us and we provide them with free suits and ties so that they can nail those interviews. You know, they've been trained by the organization. The last ingredient, the icing on the cake, is the suit, which they do not have. So we know how important first impressions are and how important it is to make to look good, to feel good, to come in with a strong confidence and a tremendous image. And we're just trying to do our part to finalize the deal for these guys so that they can, take care of their families.
Absolutely love it. PK, why don't you get into how this came about for you? Because I imagine it has a special meaning to you.
Yeah, well, like I said, I worked for the state for about 20 some odd years, and I did a lot of interviewing to get men to work. And a lot of guys, they would actually come to the interview on time. They would say the right thing. They would be prepared, nice resume, everything down packed. But they didn't have the look that was needed to kind of push them over the top to help them to get that extra edge. So one day I decided while cleaning up my closet that maybe I can help some of these individuals because they weren't getting hired. And if they're not getting hired, then they're not going to be able to take care of their families. If they're not going to be able to take care of their families, a lot of them are going to be involved in criminal activity and make bad decisions. So I said, well, what can I do? So I looked in my closet. Me and my brother, we put some suits together, went out to family, and we were able to actually help a couple. And then we realized that we could be onto something because there are so many organizations that are out there for women like Dress for Success and Bottomless Closet, but the men really didn't have that resource. They really didn't have something like a Dress for Success for men. So we're kind of filling a void. So when we started doing that, and it really just started taking off. So it came from seeing a need, and now it's actually filling a need across New York, and actually we help other states as well.
Wow, that's incredible, and I love that you're doing it as a nonprofit and still working at the same time, and having a family is phenomenal. You were actually, weren't you honored at the Kittypreneur weekend as well?
Yeah, I mean, I'm still trying to figure out how they heard about us or who nominated me. But yeah, they actually gave me. I was thrilled and honored to receive an award from Chrissy. She just awesome person who's doing great things and just has an awesome program out there. And for her to take time to acknowledge what we're doing here, I mean, that really made me feel special. I really had a great time. I mean, I met some good people, including yourself, and it just was an awesome time.
Oh, it was. So I didn't realize that you didn't really know that you were going to be honored. That's pretty awesome. I love surprises, so that's a welcome surprise for sure. Chrissy is great, and I really that was my first experience with Kittypreneur and the Just for You Kids Expo. So yeah, I had a great time, and I think what she's doing really right now and with it is really special. So I'm glad that so many people are involved and came to the event. So yeah, because I got to meet great people like you and so many others that I'll be having on the show in the very near future.
Nice.
So how did your family take this idea? I mean, it sounds like they were pretty positive about the idea of you starting up a nonprofit organization.
Yeah, I mean, actually, my family's actually a big part of helping me do it. I mean, along with my wife, of course, who's, behind, assists me to, collect the suits, a lot of administrative work, different things like that. But I have a lot of suits at my parents' house, and, my brother's part of the organization. And, I mean, they see how passionate I am about it. So they kind of want to do what they can to assist, to help, to get it off the ground and get it running. But yeah, they see that it's definitely helping a lot of people. They definitely have that. I actually, I believe I have the same characteristic and personality from my parents. So, I mean, they understand how important it is to help others, and they, taught me, my brother, and my sister that. So I get it from them, and they're supportive. They're very supportive of what we're doing.
Love it. That's awesome. What would you say your biggest roadblock has been?
I would say the biggest challenge has been just continually spreading the word and to just keep everything structured in order. I mean, every day you just have to make sure that you put everything in order, because it can easily become overwhelming. I mean, just like with any business, as it grows, you just have to manage it. And every day you just have to schedule what you have to do, plan your day, manage your time, take advantage of every single second, every single second, so that it doesn't overwhelm you, because I mean, it's growing, it's blessing a lot of people, it's helping a lot of men, but at the same time, you just have to make sure that the business is flowing properly. Everything's being done that has to be done. You're maintaining solid relationships with the programs, and and that the business just continues to run.
Getting people to know things is definitely it's tough, especially as a nonprofit, because you probably don't have the advertising dollars to make it blossom. Which I mean, it's got to be tough, because you also have to have an inventory of suits and sizes and because everybody's different. So it's definitely got to be difficult on that end.
Yeah, I mean, another challenge is we get a lot of suits from I guess guys 5'11" and up. So men that are like 5'8" and shorter, we have a challenge making sure they get quality suits. As our inventory is based on donations, if we don't get a lot of donations for those that size, then sometimes it's some men that we can't assist simply because we don't have that in the inventory.
Right. No, I definitely could imagine that would be quite difficult for people to, for you to work with, let alone anybody else. Well, what's some of the ways that you go about overcoming that?
Well, we try to get solid relationships with men's stores that have suits, so that we can, when we have those special occasions, we can go to them and let them know, listen, we need this particular size. And we just continually spread the word to men all over, because like I said, we actually a law firm just did a suit drive for us in Manhattan. And when law firms or businesses, when they do that, that kind of helps us, because you get a whole variety of different men's sizes, not just one particular size. So we law firms, any type of businesses, actually ABC, we have a good partnership with them. ABC host Bill Ritter, Lee Goldberg, and Rob Nelson, they have been very supportive and donated finances as well as suits. So we just try to reach out to as many men as possible. And I work in Manhattan, so all you see is men walking around in suits. So we'll never have go out of suits, but we just want to make sure we have a good sampling of different sizes.
Yeah, no, that's a good place to be, because if you were in the suburbs somewhere, it would not be so easy to be able to drive that many suits.
Yeah, that would be a challenge in itself.
PK, what was your childhood dream growing up?
Actually, my childhood dream, I wanted to play football for the Pittsburgh Steelers. I wanted to be a football player. So, I mean, that actually didn't happen. But, I still play a little football nowadays, but not professionally, of course. But that was my dream growing up. I wanted to be a professional football player.
Oh, okay. Did you grow up in Pittsburgh or?
Well, I grew up in the '70s, and in the '70s, Pittsburgh was they were the team. They won 4 Super Bowls. They were great. My two favorite football players, John Starworth, wide receiver, and Rod Wilson, cornerback. So those are my 2 favorite players.
Those are good picks. I mean, it's a good, fair point. What do your dreams for the future look like? Especially for That Suits You.
Well, like I said, we started just thinking about suiting men that were coming home, helping them. But as the division just kind of expanded, and we really are helping a lot of veterans now. We've been the door is open for us to go to the Veteran Association to help a lot of veterans get back to work and get suited. Actually, we've got a strong partnership now with AARP, so our senior citizens who may need suits for work. Also, we have our vendor's license. So in New York City, we're going into schools and we're teaching the young men the importance of image, the importance of wearing a suit, the importance of presentation and building relationships. So we're basically trying to cover it from 17 to 70. We're trying to reach men of all ages and teach them the importance. It was a big trend. I still don't know how popular it is with sagging pants, guys sagging their pants. So we're basically combating that to teach them, don't sag, wear a suit. Why wear a suit? Not just for the job, but for your own business, to start your own business, to teach others, to build, to own. So we're basically suiting the outer man, but also teaching and training the inner man.
Oh, I love it. It's tough, especially going forward as we find ourselves getting more and more casual in our lifestyles. Casual Friday has turned into casual every day.
Exactly.
and I definitely, I can appreciate the suit, even though I try not to wear one very often. But there is a time and place for it, for sure.
Yeah, a lot of businesses are actually making it not as mandatory as it was, but like I said, if you walk around Bryant Park and inner city, 40th, Fifth Avenue, you'll see 90% of the men wearing suits as you walk down those blocks. So New York City still has that suit vibe to it.
Yeah, no, I would agree. I get to Manhattan from time to time, every couple months. And I would agree that the suit has not disappeared, especially from there, of all places. So before we share how people can connect with you and how they can donate and how they can help maybe get involved, if they'd like to help get involved, is there any last thoughts you'd like to share, PK?
Well, it's more of a general as far as, great show that you have as far as people living their dreams and how important just I believe that is. I mean, like I said, I worked for the state for over 20 years, but I really didn't start to break forth and do something that was in my heart for a while because of reasons that people have. How am I going to do it? Where am I going to get the money to do it? Is it too late? It's not important. What if it fails? All these questions, and all the questions can be silenced just by making moves. Once you make one move, that usually opens the door to meet another person or to get resources in this area, or a door opens over here. So, I know you hear it all the time. Push forward, go forward, live your dreams. But I just can't stress how important that is to make that a reality and not not go for it, and then years later have regrets that you could have did something. I mean, I have so much fulfillment now doing things that I have a passion for instead of doing something that I just was getting a paycheck for. So I mean, I just would like to encourage your viewers to push forward. That if you can't stop thinking about it, then you shouldn't stop working for it.
I couldn't agree more, and I appreciate the kind words for the show. We try to encourage people, even if it's just a hobby, to go and figure out what it is that makes them happy, because happy people equals a happy society, equals happy lives,
Right.
across the board in many
Right.
different ways. It comes in so many different shapes and forms. So yeah, no, I to do something that out of nothing and go from, okay, I'm just collecting a paycheck, to now I'm getting fulfilled outside. And the great thing is it is a hobby. You know what I mean? It's a hobby that's helping other people in a big way get on with their lives. I mean, you've been doing it for 4 years now, right?
We started February 2013.
So I mean,
So 3 years.
you've definitely have seen the fruits of your labor of getting people on their feet.
Yes. We've given out about 2,500 items of professional attire, and just to see the reaction. I mean, if it was just 5 people, just to see their reaction when you throw that suit jacket over them, or when they look at themselves in the mirror, they see this suit, or if we, because we teach a lot of men how to tie. Sometimes they learn it for the first time. So once you see them get it, that makes a big difference. Just to see the change is rewarding in itself.
I'm not very good at tying a tie, because I don't do it very. In fact, I have a lot of ties in my closet, and I think like the most I wear is like 3 or 4 of them, and they're all pre-tied. So they were tied once, and they're just adjustable at this point.
Oh, cool.
At some point, I'd like to get better at that, but it's one of those things where I feel like I have to do it every day or regularly to get good at it.
Right.
No, but I think that image of giving them, like, it's not just giving the idea of like, whoa, where could you be if you got a job and you didn't go and do something illegal and end up back in jail, and and build upon this thing called life that you have, and the self-worth, I think can be I wanted to say like extruded, but I don't know if I don't even know if that's a real word. It could be exemplified about within yourself, and create a positive self-image that you can that they can believe into, that they can buy into, that like
Right.
there's something greater than what I've already been given or what I've already taken out of this life.
Right.
So I absolutely agree that there's a lot there when it comes to people being able to do more with what they have, when they just get that positive reinforcement, I guess it would be, that, that life can, like, bam, look at this, like this is what it could be.
Right.
Not that suits necessarily are the greatest accomplishment ever, but it gives you that taste of like something that would be radically different from what they're used to.
Right, and that's what we tell them. Also, we tell them that suit is a nice thing, but it's not everything. The suits are just something to provide you with options. Life is a lot better when you have options. When you have choices, it makes everything a lot better. So we just want to say, you want to wear jeans, you want to wear a t-shirt, that's fine. But you can also wear a suit, and you can also have a tie and know how to tie it, and then have this. So we just let them know that when you have options, it makes everything better. So we're just providing them with more options.
I would totally agree. It's one of those things where it's like when you go to a place where you could be underdressed or dressed in a suit, if you have the option to be like, you know what, I have the money to afford to eat here, so I have the money to afford to wear whatever I want within reason. Not showing up with a tank top in a fancy restaurant or anything like that. But you know what I mean, like a t-shirt and jeans or something, or a t-shirt and shorts if it's somewhere that would maybe call for that, depending on the situation. But yeah. So PK, I would love for you to share how people can connect with you and how people can get involved and how they can donate and all that.
Right. Yes. They can. Well, we're on Facebook. We're on Instagram. We're on Twitter. We're on Skype now. They can connect at That Suits You. ThatSuitsYou. Follow us. See what the work that we're doing. The people that have donated to us, and if they want to donate finances, or if they want to donate items such as full suits and ties, they can go to a website at www.thatsuitsyou.org. That's ThatSuitsYou.org, and they can see everything that we've done. There's videos there, there's pictures, there's photos. Send us an email, connect with us. We're based in New York City, but we've mailed suits to Ohio, Dallas, California. So we've helped people all around the country, and it's just going to continue to grow. So they can, we'd love to have people follow us and support us and connect with us.
Awesome. And you can actually donate money to help support this as well?
Yes, definitely. They could go to the website, and it's a link. And any donations that they make are tax deductible because we're a 501c3. So they can they'll get a receipt, and they can claim it on their taxes. And definitely.
Absolutely awesome. I will definitely be donating some money. And when I get up there, because I will be in New York actually in July.
Cool.
Maybe I can. I don't know if I'm going to have a whole lot of time, but maybe we'll have some time. I'll be in Manhattan, and we get some lunch or something like that.
Yeah, that'd be cool. Yeah, come to Manhattan, and I'll meet you, and we'll link up.
Awesome.
Maybe we'll do a Facebook Live.
Yeah, there you go. We definitely live stream. I'll be live streaming a lot that weekend because I'll be speaking at the United Nations on that Saturday or Sunday. So looking forward to it.
Nice.
Yeah,
cool.
Yeah, might have to wear a suit. Might have to wear a suit for that. We'll see. We'll see what everybody else is wearing. All right. Well, PK, thank you so much for taking the time to be on the Dreamers podcast. I'd love to have you on again at some point in the future, follow up and see how you've been doing, and just hope that everything continues to go great for you.
No, I appreciate that. I appreciate you having me on. You're a man of your words. You said you wanted to have me on, and you did it. And I appreciate the work that you're doing, helping people and spreading the word. Thank you very much.
Oh, you're very welcome, and thank you for the kind words, man.
All right, cool. Thank you.
Thank you for joining us for this episode of the Dreamers Podcast. Follow us on Twitter at Dreamers Podcast. Join us on Facebook at facebook.com/Dreamers Podcast. If you or someone you know would like to be a guest on the Dreamers Podcast, please send an email to j@jpar.co. This podcast is copyright 2014 by jpar.co.